universe stands on the brink of utter chaos due to the viral spores that have infected all living creatures, creating a plague of hate, stirring destruction and chaos in every corner of the earth and across the cosmos. There are no heroes left to save civilization from the enslavement of insanity, all of them having now succumbed to this hate plague, their minds encased in madness. Even the leader of the Autobots, RODIMUS Prime, bearer of the Matrix of Leadership, exists in a state of calamity, his mind clouded, despite the well of knowledge and serenity he carries inside. Yet, with the minds of every person imprisoned by the pandemic of this plague, there remains one hope, one being, one hero, who may be able to restore agency to the universe, who could still bring that freedom to all sentient beings. Optimus Prime. He alone is protected from this plague thanks to the rare experimental metal invented by the same men who caused this catastrophe, and he must use this protection to reclaim the Matrix of Leadership from RODIMUS Prime, if he can find him amongst all the disaster in this world.
We've got to find RODIMUS Prime, SKYLYNX! Hurry!
I'm doing my best, Optimus!
RODIMUS, at this moment, seems to be working out every frustration he's ever felt since taking on the mantle of leadership, as he appears to be harrowed by a group of the Throttlebots into a wreckage lot for old and broken automobiles. Almost like an Autobot graveyard. The perfect place to turn the tables on these idiotic Throttlebots and show them how a real Autobot drives. The Throttlebots aren't in this for a demolition derby. They pepper RODIMUS with laser fire, trying to blow him apart. RODIMUS proves to be too tough for that, and too fast, as he shows them a thing or two about how to be turbo-revving young punks. Leading them towards a mountain of dilapidated cars, he swerves at the last second, turning sharply away to let the Throttlebots, moving at full speed, crash hard enough into the stack of wreckage to bury them under it. Transforming in triumph, RODIMUS laughs villainously, declaring his superiority to any and all would-be challengers.
Nobody messes with me! Okay, who's next? Let's talk, RODIMUS!
Even if he were in a clearer state of mind, the sound of such a familiar voice would have been shocking to RODIMUS. But he recognizes the stern, commanding, and warm tone of Optimus. Optimus and SKYLYNX, like a white knight mounted on a loyal and affable dragon, had been searching high and low for any sign of RODIMUS Prime all around the outskirts of Metroplex and beyond. It was only a matter of time before RODIMUS would reveal himself in some bombastic way. Optimus had always known that nobody could raise a ruckus like Hotrod could. And thanks to the efforts of the Throttlebots, Optimus had found the ruckus he'd been expecting. Still, Optimus hoped that somehow he could appeal to RODIMUS to just hand over the Matrix, to do so willingly. Even knowing what a long shot that was, Optimus had to try, choosing to approach RODIMUS on even terms, rolling up to him in the middle of this sprawling yard of wreckage, symbolic of the state of the world and the current state of RODIMUS emotionally, mentally, all but physically at this moment. SKYLYNX stays by Optimus's side, knowing there was only so much he could do, but willing to back up Optimus in any way he could.
Oh, Optimus! I thought you were dead!
The last sane thought Rodimus had before being infected was that he had to keep Optimus's body safe after ordering SKYLYNX to find a Quintesson to help revive him. To see that this plan had indeed worked. To have Optimus actually standing before him, speaking to him with a familiarity that wasn't present before on the Mausoleum ship, it would be amazing to Rodimus, even in the haze of hate that now clouded his mind. Optimus could see that Rodimus was stunned to see him, as he'd hoped he would be. Now he had a chance to plead his case and appeal to that Autobot sensibility to protect, to help, to bring about goodness and justice to the universe.
The preservation of our very existence is at stake. Madness has infected the entire galaxy. The Autobots, the Decepticons, the humans. They threaten to wipe each other out of existence. We've got to fight the madness. You've got to help me, Rodimus.
Help the universe?
As Rodimus approaches Optimus, eye to eye, prime to prime, Optimus hoped his words were truly sinking in, were bringing forth the reason he'd hoped Rodimus would see. Yet he was still wary, being careful not to be too trusting too quickly, maintaining control of the situation.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Oh, all right.
No, something was off. He seemed all too eager to be agreeable, and he was a terrible liar. Rodimus was no Decepticon. It didn't take even SKYLYNX's superiorly sensitive senses to see that. He immediately cries out a warning.
Look out, Optimus! He's crazed!
Optimus had already been on his toes about the situation, ready to move if necessary, easily evading Rodimus's quick-draw tactics with his photon eliminator. Rodimus continues to fire the powerful and highly destructive shots at the pile of rubbish Optimus takes cover behind. Optimus sees that despite his best efforts to avoid confrontation, they were going to have to do this the hard way. Even so, he exercises great patience with Rodimus, giving him every opportunity to think twice about his choices here.
I don't want to hurt you, Rodimus.
Don't worry, Optimus, you won't!
Although Rodimus says this tauntingly, he knew he was up against one of the greatest warriors in Cybertron's history. Finally, a real challenge. Knowing that he has what Optimus wants, he takes off, heading to more advantageous ground inside the wrecking facility, where he might get the upper hand on Optimus and SKYLYNX both. Optimus really didn't want to have to do things this way, but he was left with no choice. Within the facility, Rodimus attempts to suss out the best place to face off against Optimus. Yet Optimus is already nearly on top of him, denying any advantage to Rodimus, still trying to reason with him, though his patience with that approach was wearing thin.
Rodimus, you're wasting precious time. Many lives are in danger.
The only one who is in danger is you, old-timer!
He fires a shot towards Optimus, which Optimus dodges and sees that it's time to get serious, change his approach, and go with Plan B. Restrain Rodimus and take the Matrix by force, hopefully without having to hurt him. Rodimus was indeed a strong and gifted fighter, Optimus was well aware. However, Optimus had millennia more experience fighting one-on-one and in the battlefield than Rodimus ever had. And if there's one thing Cup had proven over and over in similar situations, it's that experience would always win over power. Something a younger bot, like Hotrod, still hadn't learned to value.
Experience, lad. You should learn to appreciate it.
Optimus decides it's time to truly put this new metal coating to the test and get up close and personal with Rodimus.
Sorry, Rodimus. There's no other way.
Optimus knows how to use the environment around you in battle, if you can, to gain that edge over your opponent. He employs a conveyor in the facility to use its grappler claws, coming up behind the unsuspecting Rodimus and grabbing his blaster arm. Fortunately, all the trouble the Autobots went through to get this new alloy coating for Optimus was worth it. Even with all this contact with the hate plague-infused Rodimus in the scuffle, Optimus was protected from any transmission of the hate plague's spores. Rodimus kicks and screams against Optimus, using his own great strength to keep him at bay.
Let go of me! I have to do this, Rodimus.
No! I won't let you!
Breaking out of the grappler, Rodimus climbs through the surrounding equipment, looking to gain the high ground, as well as an opportunity to use the environment himself. He spies a switch that opens a vat of acid and determines that if he can just knock Optimus into it.
I think Optimus needs a bath.
Optimus, climbing up after him, is aware that falling off this scaffolding would land him right in this acid, and he certainly didn't want to test if this new alloy could possibly stand up to that.
No more games, Rodimus. Innocent lives are at stake.
No one is innocent!
It seems that Rodimus may be saying, well, more than meets the eye in this sentence. He had carried the guilt of what happened to Optimus that day in Autobot City throughout his entire tenure as Autobot leader. This guilt has lingered at his core ever since this moment.
Optimus, forgive me.
That truly was the moment that Hotrod lost his youthful innocence, his carefree perspective on the world. Up to that moment, he'd never had to consider the consequences his actions could inflict on others. And every moment since then, he's been haunted with the idea of what the consequences would be with every single action, word, and decision he made, especially with the great mantle of Autobot leader. He'd longed for relief from that feeling, and although he didn't blame Optimus for it, he couldn't help but see this silvery manifestation of him as a representation of all of that accumulated guilt, anxiety, that crushing burden he'd felt ever since that day, no matter how many of his own great deeds he himself had accomplished as RODIMUS Prime. The unexpected frustration he felt in this, that bubbled to the surface in seeing Optimus again face to face, and all the unresolved issues that Hotrod, had suffered since, were all exacerbated immensely due to the hate plague consuming him. In a very real way, due to that plague, he hated Optimus at this moment.
No one is innocent!
With Rodimus blasting away at his footing, Optimus falls towards the acid bath waiting below. But fortunately, SKY-LYNX comes swooping in, sparing Optimus the need to test the acid against the properties of the metal alloy coating him.
Gotcha!
Before SKY-LYNX can brag about his daring feat any further, the enraged Rodimus leaps after the intrepid shuttle, latching on long enough to spread the hate plague spores into the systems of SKY-LYNX.
Rodimus infected SKY-LYNX!
Optimus laments, not only from alarm at this turn of events, but saddened to watch his last Autobot ally fall victim to this plague. There were no more chances to give Rodimus. Optimus would have to go on the offensive, even resorting to skullduggery to stop Rodimus from resisting. He jumps, down to the facility below to prepare his next move. SKYLYNX, his mind now burning, flies high, bursting through the glass skylight out of this facility, shaking off RODIMUS Prime, who falls the great distance to the ground below. The madness of the plague sends SKYLYNX into a frenzy, and he blasts through the atmosphere, rocketing through space, tearing his way through anything in his path. RODIMUS, shaken but unbroken, gets up, knowing Optimus must be around here somewhere. He felt compelled to defeat Optimus, to conquer this representation of his own internal demons that haunted him.
Come out, wherever you are!
As he wanders through, he doesn't notice what is hiding in plain sight. Optimus Prime rides along a conveyor with other cars, his truck mode disguising him from the unsuspecting RODIMUS, as he moves behind him, transforming and seizing RODIMUS, pulling him forcefully onto the conveyor, holding him down. His patience with RODIMUS had run out, and he knew this would be for his own good.
Can Optimus come out and play?
I asked you nicely. Now I'm telling you. If I'm ever gonna save you, I need the Matrix.
You're so anxious to remove the Matrix from me. Let's see what I can cut from you!
As RODIMUS viciously pushes the cutting torch into Optimus's face, he's surprised to see it completely ineffectual, not even causing a scratch to Optimus, who explains to him,
I'm protected from heat, RODIMUS.
I mean, this metal can withstand an exploding star. Right now, a cutting torch would do as much damage as a match to Optimus's shiny finish. RODIMUS grows increasingly desperate, as does Optimus, who truly needs RODIMUS to understand that he is only trying to make RODIMUS better, to make the world better, to save everyone, including RODIMUS.
Please, let me help you.
RODIMUS does continue to attempt to do some damage with this torch, until Optimus, who's still trying not to harm RODIMUS any more than he must, squeezes at his wrist with a disarming maneuver, causing the torch to fall away. They continue to struggle together up to the end of the conveyor, which dumps them on the ground. Optimus knows this may be the only chance he gets this close to RODIMUS, whom he knows is faster and more nimble. He can't let him get away, so he makes sure his left hook knocks RODIMUS's reset relays hard enough to lay him out cold. Optimus hadn't wanted it to go down this way. He understood the burdens RODIMUS had been undertaking as leader of the Autobots, even the guilt he had been harboring. He'd never meant for Hotrod to suffer any of it. And he certainly didn't want to have to take him down and pull the Matrix from him in this manner. Yet he truly was left with no choice now.
Sorry, RODIMUS. This seems to be the only way.
RODIMUS was lying there, mostly uninjured. More like a child who'd been throwing a tantrum and was now out for a nap. Optimus knew RODIMUS would ultimately be alright, if he was successful in the next step of his plan. Although he regretted the manner in which this acquisition had transpired, at least Optimus now had the Autobot Matrix of Leadership back in his possession. And with it, the accumulated wisdom of all the ancient leaders, sages, teachers, and warriors whom had ever possessed it. Surely, somewhere inside these vast sums of knowledge, the answers, the cure, could now be found.